Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today, I'll be doing something a little different from what I usually do. Today, I'm going to do my analysis on Lightning Rod at Dollywood. As you may know, I personally think that this ride looks like the best ride in the world. But why, you may ask? Well, let's begin the analysis. First off, I'd like to start with the stats. This ride is 207 feet tall, reaches a max speed of 73 miles per hour, and has 3,800 feet of track. These stats are very impressive for a wooden coaster. This technically is the world's tallest and fastest wooden coaster. Anyways, enough talking about the stats. The stats are very impressive, but I think everything else about this ride is even more impressive. So the first thing you do is a turn out of the station. Then, you accelerate up this 207 foot tall lift hill. This is an LSM launch that takes you to 40 miles per hour. This launch actually looks very fun. Incline launches like this are very fun. This looks like the best incline launch out there, honestly. Anyways, after that launch lift hill, you then go into a small airtime hill with a weird pointy building at the top. This airtime hill looks pretty good. It looks to give some pretty good Flowjector airtime. Anyways, then you go down your first drop. This drop looks awesome. You have a lot of speed going into it, so I imagine you get some great airtime over this drop. After that drop, you go into this insane looking wave turn. This wave turn looks outstanding. The sideways floater you get looks insane. After that, you go into a turn leading into a very nice looking Outer Bank turn. This one looks better than the one on Steel Vengeance. The sideways ejector on this moment looks flat out legendary. This is certainly an element I'm looking forward to. After that, you go into a low to the ground turn which leads into the best looking moment of sideways airtime on the ride. This off-axis sharp ejector moment looks flat out incredible. This may be the best moment of sideways airtime in the world. It just looks so incredible. May I add, the pacing on this ride also looks incredible. You seem to never lose your speed at all. After that insane looking element, you go into a nice ejector bunny hill. This moment looks very good. Probably similar to the airtime moments on Storm Chaser at Kentucky Kingdom, or the lead up onto the mid-course brake run on Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point. Anyways, after that hill, you go through what I believe looks like the best airtime moments in the world. This series of airtime hills is known as the quadruple down, or quad down. These 4 hills look so unbelievably insane. The 4 sharp ejector hills just look so fantastic. As you know, sharp ejector is my favorite element to any coaster ever. These sharp ejector hills just look so powerful and so rapid fire. This is certainly my most anticipated sequence on the ride and on any coaster in general. After the quad down, you go through another intense looking turn which leads into another bunny hill. I've heard this moment can be a little rough, but I guarantee you it won't bother me. This hill looks insane. Another great ejector moment. Anyways, then you go through a giant overbank turn, which looks to give some airtime going out of it, then into the brakes. In total, Lightning Rod lasts 50 seconds from the base of the launch to the final brake run. That's a pretty good length. Plus, with all these insane looking moments, those 50 seconds probably seem to last longer than it seems. Now that we're done with the layout, let's name the reasons why I think Lightning Rod is most likely the best coaster in the world. Let's get to the obvious out of the way first. The airtime looks insane. And by insane, I mean most likely the best in the world. 3 insane looking sideways airtime moments, 2 other insane looking sharp ejector bunny hills, an awesome looking first drop, and what looks to be the best sequence of airtime in the world, the quad down. If that doesn't sound like the best airtime in the world, I don't know what does. Now let's talk about the intensity. I've heard some people call this ride forceless. I actually think this ride looks fairly intense. The first launch and the low to the ground turns look forceful. Plus, this ride wasn't necessarily made for the intensity, it was made for the rapid sharp ejector, which it definitely provided. Now let's talk about the theming. This ride has some good theming. It's themed to hot rod cars, and the station resembles an old gas station. It may not sound all that interesting, but I do think Dollywood did a good job with the theming. Now let's talk about the most common complaint with the ride, smoothness. Yes, this ride doesn't look like the smoothest RMC, but it still looks very smooth. Really, the only part of the ride I see being rough is the final bunny hill right before the overbank into the final brake run. Even that doesn't look all that rough. This ride looks like one of the smoothest woodies in the world, honestly. I think people who complain about the roughness just consider everything rough. And there you have it, my analysis on Lightning Rod at Dollywood. I made this video because yes, I am riding Lightning Rod on July 30th of this year. It is certainly my most anticipated coaster on my trip. I think this ride looks 100% perfect in every way, and I think it does look #1 in the world. But who knows? Maybe I won't think that after I ride it, or maybe I'll think it's definitely #1 in the world. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. Inverted Thrills, out.